Alright, I'm going to hit up on another cool light from GearBest. Check that link out down below. $30 for this specific light. Don't be fooled by these off-brand names. I would call it off-brand because, one, I've never really heard from it. This is a Zanflare F1. This is a 18650 powered flashlight. A lot of good features on it for $30. This one is actually running the XPL V6 emitter. This is one of the latest emitters out there that's very efficient and punching a hell of a lot of lumens out. Form factor wise, this light is pretty wicked. As you can see, very uniform shape, no big head or anything on it. Now the coolest feature on this light is unscrew this ring here and you have a plug-in for USB, micro USB charging port, which it does come with a micro USB charger cable. And when you plug it in, as you notice there, I got that battery fully charged, but it shows you that it's charged. And you don't have to remove the battery to charge the light, so that's pretty awesome. The other awesome feature is, real quick, what they say is to screw that back all the way on due to its IPX8 waterproof. That way you know you're not going to get any moisture down inside that charging port. It does have two switches, the rear tail clicky and then the side mount switch, which is pretty awesome on any flashlight due to the fact if you are putting it in your pocket, you have a tendency to bump that side switch. You're not gonna with this one. And then one thing I just noticed while I was messing with this light, this little bezel here, I didn't read anything about it, but must be a, I don't know, some type of strike bezel. Real hardened steel, I suppose, I don't know, crack a windshield or something, break it open, I don't know. Anyways, that was just kind of weird. Now, it does come with a lanyard and a unique case that I've never seen before on any flashlights. Open it up and you throw the flashlight in. I'd have to admit the case isn't real heavily built. It looks like this might end up ripping, I could be wrong. In itself, kind of weird, kind of heavy case anyways. And spare O-rings, along with the USB charging cable. Now, as far as modes on this light, actually the box has got a lot of foam, hard foam in it, very well protected for this flashlight, for the price anyways. It does have 7 modes on up to 1240 lumens. We're going to quick buzz through the modes. You're going to go to low mode, which this here is 1 lumen for 550 hours. And it isn't very bright, but I suppose when it's totally dark out, it isn't as bad. But companies, you need to keep in mind, keep everything like 2 lumens or more. The next mode up, 50 lumens for 22 hours. Very usable amount of light for that amount of time. And then next mode, 290 lumens for 6 hours. Pretty wicked. Next mode up, 590 lumens for 2 hours and 30 minutes. Just unreal amount of light. If you notice, the beam pattern on this is pretty good for such a small head on a flashlight. Now if you double click it, you're going to have 1240 lumens coming out of this thing for, I believe, 30 minutes. And the flashlight does get a little bit warm when that's on, so it is pulling the heat all the way down the light, so it seems to have a pretty good heat sink in it. And you got your other strobes, but I don't even like covering them. I think you hold it on for a little bit and then your strobe comes on. So that's the light output on this thing. Now, form factor, pretty awesome. Very pocketable. Like I said, there's no way to accidentally turn this thing on, which is awesome. Self-contained charging port in it. And if you look, like the TrueNight TN12, identical in height and everything else is the TN12. Really like the TN12. I use that a lot for comparison. Brightness will be tell-all. We'll go out and check out the beam shots of this thing, and I do believe it's up to a little over 200 meters of throw, and it has plenty of spill. And we'll do is compare it to other flashlights like the TN12, car headlights, and give you a real good idea how much light output this thing has. But for $30, pretty hard to go wrong. So let's get out there and do some beam shot. All right, I'm roughly 4 meters, well actually exactly 4 meters away from my porch, 60 watt lights up above. Everything's on and running. I have my lux meter out ahead of me. And what we're gonna do is hit this thing in the turbo, this Zanflare, and go measure that lux at 4 meters and calculate the throw. Pretty bright light. Let's go see what it was. All right, that ended up being 783 lux at 4 meters. So now we want to divide that by 0.25, the brightness of the moon, times 4 meters squared is 16, and then a square root of that. Giving out almost 224 calculated meters of throw. That's pretty damn good. It's actually quite good for not a very high priced light. So let's go ahead and get some beam shots of this thing done. All right, that's a tree at 64 meters out. This is the Through Night TN12 on turbo mode. Again, that's 64 meters. And this here is a big honking Maglite ML300 at 64 meters. And there's the Zanflare 64 meters out. Lighting that tree up pretty good. And decent spill. Again, Through Night TN12 2014 turbo mode. In a Zanflare turbo mode. Now let's move down to the tree at 92 meters away. This is the Zanflare or whatever. Yeah, Zanflare at 92 meters. Through Night TN12 2014 at 92 meters. Zanflare 92 meters. Let's do a little bit closer shots. But before I do that, that tree line back there is 140 meters out on the way up down to 190. And this is lighting it up quite good. This is a Zanflare in the TN12. Zanflare. I got the TN12 on the right and a Zanflare on the left. It's giving out a little more punch than the TN12. Pretty damn close though, tell you that. Now here's looking up into some trees. This is a Through Night TN12, about 40 meters up. And there's a Zanflare. Through Night, Zanflare. Pretty nice light for the price. This next test, got my car headlights on high beam in my walkway, shining out. See what it's like with a Zanflare. Drowns it out pretty damn good. Car headlights. Make sure I got this thing on turbo. There's turbo. Zanflare. Regular car headlights. Pretty bright light. Well, that concludes the old beam shots. There you go. Zanflare F1. Pretty well built, high quality light for the price. A lot of features on it. Really like this light. Make a pretty good gift to somebody. Boy, am I getting a lot of lights in. The whole damn channel's turning into flashlights, which anybody that follows me, just bear with me here. I got a lot of other stuff coming as well. There you go.